Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca Yusan.
And I'm Shelly Gruen, and we're with Sun Sugar Luxury Properties here in South Florida.
And it is a beautiful, amazing day once again if you want to live the Florida lifestyle. But today we are going to be talking about selling your home on your own. We always frequently are asked, hey, Shelly and Rebecca, I don't think I need your help selling my home. I'm going to sell it on my own. What should I do? So we decided it's time to share all of our knowledge and expertise to show you exactly what it takes to sell your home on your own.
Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about how to sell your home on your own without a real estate agent.
Kind of an interesting topic to be talking about with both Rebecca and I, since we are both real estate agents.
Yes, we are.
But you know, so often someone in our sphere, whether it's a family member, believe it or not, a friend, or just people we meet and people we meet in the business, who say to themselves, you know, you guys make it look so easy and we're going to put the house on the market. We're just going to do it ourselves. We often have those conversations, and a few weeks later, the phone calls start coming in. What should I do? How do you handle this? So we figured, rather than wait for those phone calls, let's just share that information with you guys now. We're going to kind of give you our roadmap today. About how we go about helping our clients list their homes and get them sold for top dollar, given the current market conditions.
So here we go. Step number one.
We kind of broke it down just to kind of give you like a little bit of a feel for where we're heading with this conversation today. There's basically 5 main categories of activities, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So the first one is prepping your home.
A lot of people think this is not a big deal, but we have worked with so many buyers. We really do know this is a huge deal. There are a lot of people out there that cannot imagine what it would be like living in your home, which sounds weird, but it's the truth. They can't imagine your things out of it and their things in.
Right. And that's a pretty big thing. If you just kind of take a step back with that, your home is where you've been living, where you've designed it and created the space to represent your personality and your family's needs. But when we're listing a house, we are looking for the person who's going to offer you the top price, and that person might be very different than you are.
Yes.
So with your eye, you sort of need to go through the house and consider a more neutral, unemotional lens as you walk through your house.
Absolutely.
What does that actually mean?
Well, Shelly, this is a really tough conversation to have with our clients because some people have lived in their home their whole life. And they've made it theirs, and their children's faces are on the walls, and they've made notches in the doorways as their children have grown up.
I always think that's the sweetest when I walk into homes and I see that.
But it makes it so emotional because a new homeowner does not want to see little Joey's height progression. Even it's so sweet and it means so much to us, that new homeowner doesn't care about it. So you have to cover those things up with some paint, and it's going to be difficult.
Right.
But you always keep in mind you are selling your home, and we want to attract the largest buyer pool. And to do that, it has to be neutral.
It has to be neutralized for sure. And that means kind of going through each room and almost doing a pre-pack You're going to be selling and moving anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well pack up the things that you won't be needing for the next 6 months.
Yep, I totally agree.
Right.
And that's the easiest way to do it. If there's too many things on the shelf, take them off. Make it clean and simple.
We often talk about decluttering, and that's kind of has a negative word connotation because it implies that you have clutter.
Yeah.
We don't want to call you out on having clutter.
No.
But if you kind of reframe that and think of it as you're packing things up, that will maybe help you remove things from the space so that then you can sort of neutralize it. It might even come down to changing out some of your art. As Rebecca mentioned, you might have pictures of your family or vacation spots you went to. And you might want to think about just, again, neutralizing more, not generic, but just a more widely accepted view when it comes to the design of your home.
Yeah, and let me tell you a story. We love our family and our friends and our vacations and our memories. We get that. But one time I was showing a home and the owners did not take their family pictures down. And my clients were looking at their photos because they wanted to actually see who lives here. And the husband said, "Oh no, I know them. I could never buy this home. I don't like them." So that was an immediate deal killer. And people are visual. If they see something in the photo that they don't like, they might not even know it, but they will kill the deal right then and there. And that you can't have that. You need to attract a large buyer pool.
Exactly. When we're talking about staging and the pre-packing and removing some personal items, you also want to talk about, we just throw this out here, like you want to freshen up the space. This is huge. In the industry right now, staging homes has become a sub-industry within our industry. And many times you'll probably notice in pictures if you've been looking at homes for sale or if you've popped into any homes that are on the market, you've probably noticed they look like they are straight out of a magazine. And I hate to tell you, but those are the homes that sell the quickest.
They are. They look good, they smell good, and they feel good. They have a good vibe.
So while maybe your home was designed by an interior designer 10 years ago or 5 years ago or sometimes 30 years ago and everything coordinates and matches, it's not staged for selling. So interior decorating is different than interior staging. Staging keeps things neutral, current, and consistent throughout the space, which enables the potential buyer who's walking through to envision just simply moving right in. So as you're prepping your home, you're decluttering, you're pre-packing, you're staging, and you're also, Rebecca mentioned, making sure things smell nice. You're also cleaning.
Oh yeah, dusting. Get all the cracks and crevices. And don't forget the closets and the drawers. People actually look in the closets and the drawers.
Oh, for sure.
And if your closet looks like a hurricane
you can't just
hit
take
it,
everything from the living room and shove it in there.
No.
That's not what we mean when we talk about the decluttering.
no, it must be organized. It must be in order. And if you have great storage, you need to show it off.
That's a huge feature.
It's huge.
Especially for so many people who are relocating and coming from states where they're used to having an attic and basements. Our closets are important. And when we're showing property and when we have listings, we focus and feature those options and those areas of the home. So don't think that that's not an important area for you when you're trying to sell your house on your own. Focus on your closets and your all storage spaces. The whole category of prepping your home can take you anywhere from 2 days to 2 to 3 months.
It can.
Because another huge part, we were talking about the inside of your house, but you can't forget the first thing the people are going to see when they come to see your house is the outside.
The outside. Guys, I have had people following me to showings, pull up in the driveway, open their window and say, Rebecca, no, we're not even going in because it just is scary on the outside.
Not where I want to live, not what I want to call home.
Nope.
Yeah.
So if you live in a single family home, the grass better be manicured. The plants better look nice. The mulch better be laid. Like the front door should be freshly painted.
You know, we talk about it all the time in real estate. What's the most important thing? Location, location, location. But once you get there, the next most important thing is curb appeal.
Curb appeal, first impression, it's everything.
So if you're thinking of selling, you might need a season to get your home ready. Like you might need a whole season to plant things and wait for things to bloom. So definitely important part of that.
Absolutely.
And once you get it all together, you're still in prep mode, but you need to prep the home so that you're ready to get your listing taken care of online, and that's going to include photographs.
Yep. The next most important thing.
Now, when Rebecca and I work with our clients, we have a professional photographer who that's all they do is they not just a professional photographer that does weddings and portraits, home photographers, real estate photographers.
Yeah, there's a difference. Trust me. I'm sorry, but there's a difference. A professional home photographer knows the angles that are important to people, knows what people want to see. And we spend a lot of money on our photographers because you cannot skimp.
No, I mean, you know the difference, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you've been online, you're looking on Zillow.
Right.
I see you over there checking out Zillow, not our website. But when you do that and you see the difference between a house that's been amazingly staged and professionally photographed, you know that even if it's not the location you're necessarily looking for, you're like, oh, I'll go see this one because it looks good.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen many times where my client wants to see a home and I'll say, no, that is not the right location. And they say, I don't care. It looks amazing. I have to see it.
Right. I mean, you've all seen the pictures of, here, let's show them some pictures.
Oh boy.
I did that because I want to add a picture of a house that is not professionally photographed versus a house that is professionally photographed.
Come up with a lot of those.
Okay. So there, you see the difference, right? Professional or personal. Now, if you're going to sell for sale by owner, and that's why you're listening to our video, we highly recommend you contact at least one or two of our preferred real estate photographers and talk to them and get their quotes, get quotes from them, and we urge you to hire someone to do those pictures for you.
Yep, and if you wait till the end, we'll tell you exactly how to get their contact information.
So step number 2 is the roadmap to selling your home on your own without a realtor is marketing. You've finished the prep, you're ready to go, but the next thing is your marketing plan.
So, and really the first step is figuring out, what am I going to price my home at? Now listen, don't get emotional with this. Trust me, like Shelly said, we've bought and sold many properties, and even as a real estate professional, it's an emotional decision on what to price your home at. I was quite surprised the last time I sold my home how attached I was to it, and I thought it was more than it really was.
Look, I think the point you're making is really valid, and it just does speak to why having an advocate for you when you're going through the transaction process is so important. But I get it. you want to go this alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're here, to help you understand what goes into pricing.
Yeah, so you can win.
You can't just base it off what your neighbors sold.
No, because your home, maybe you live in a community that the homes are similar. So, but your neighbor's home may have less upgrades or more upgrades or a slightly different size or a better backyard.
Or a brand new air conditioner.
Ooh, that's
or
a big
an
one.
outdated roof, and maybe yours is new.
Yeah, so there's a lot of variables to take into an account.
Now, when we do our pricing, we do full comparative analysis based on all the properties that have sold in the neighborhood within the past year.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, depending on the market, we might even only go back 3 to 6 months.
It all depends on the market conditions and the volume of sales in your particular area. Now, when we say neighborhood, we're kind of basing this information off of what a property appraiser would be looking at. It's not just our community or our HOA. Sometimes they look at a radius around your home, which might actually include neighborhood outside of your particular development. So there's multiple factors that go into this, but it's key to getting your home sold, because you want to price it right to get the most attention and attraction to your house quickly.
That's right. And a lot of my sellers get a little bit nervous when I suggest a price that is at or slightly below the market, because they think, no, we should go high and make people make offers. But trust me, if a property is priced even just a little bit higher than the market, buyers say, forget it, I'm out. They're already asking too much. I don't want any part of it. I'm out.
You know, something you have to ask yourself is, are you selling, is your hot button, is it timing or price? Do you have a time deadline that you need to get out because you want to go buy something else, or you need to move somewhere for work or a family reason? Is someone having a baby across the country and you're trying to relocate to be there with them? Everybody's scenario is different. So, or are you trying to cash out and just get a certain dollar amount in your pocket or into your savings account so that you can be investing someplace else? And that might, for you, be an emotional decision and will impact how you're pricing your house. For example, if you just want out, you might think of lowering your price, but we might have some insight to help you identify the right price, the market value price, what the market is going to say your home's value is. Not what you're saying it's worth, not what your neighbor's saying it's worth, but what the market brings. So when we're talking about marketing your home, pricing it is the first step. And again, we're going to provide some helpful details to you in our guide that you're going to get some more information about how to get your hands on.
That's right.
At the end of the video. But hey, if you're enjoying what we're talking about up till now, we urge you to like and subscribe and hit the bell for this video and our channel.
All right, everyone. So I think we talked enough about pricing your home, even though that is a subject Shelly and I could talk about for hours and hours.
We could do a
Maybe
whole
that'll be
segment.
our next video, yes. But next, we want to talk about how are you going to market your home for sale?
Listen, you can't be a secret,
No.
right?
You need everyone and their brother to know that your home is for sale.
Right. I mean, you might think that you have a few neighbors who will bring by some friends and show your home to them and you're going to get it sold. But again, spread a wide net.
Yep, that is the best way to get the most competitive offer on your home.
So assumingly, if you've invested time into watching the two of us talk about this up until now, we assume you've done some homework.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you're going to list it on Zillow, right? I mean, that's what most for sale by owners do. They'll maybe post it on your Facebook groups or on Craigslist maybe.
Yep.
And then you're going to let people know the details. You're going to use those photographs we talked about.
That's
and
right.
let them know how much you're selling it for. And hopefully you're going to have a nice description about your property.
Descriptions are almost as important as the photos. You want your potential buyers to be able to feel what your home is, what is inside of it. They've never been in there. So what I do when I write a description is I visualize myself walking through the home. What do I see when I walk in the door? What's in the living room? What's in the kitchen? How does it feel? Is there a bathroom off the kitchen? What would be important to a home buyer to have? Is there a garage? Do you have a basement? How does that look? We want to see
I know
the
what you're
home.
thinking. You're thinking basements in Florida, but it does happen. It does happen. We had a listing, our team had a listing this year in Delray Beach, just up the road, with a basement. Talk about a dream yoga spot.
That would be amazing.
I really couldn't believe it, but it's there. And if you're interested in what that property was, hit me up. I'll share that listing info with you.
I want that.
It was the one on Seacrest.
Oh my, I love it. Okay, anyway.
Let me tell you, that description, the way you just described walking through the house, that's so important.
It is.
Because I'm just envisioning people searching, and often I'm visual, so the photos are important to me. But there are some people that are not visual. And so you want to attract those people as well. So just as much effort as you put into your photos, write your description, write your listing description, sleep on it, share it with a few friends, ask them for feedback. Compare it to other ones that you're reading about, but please, for the love of God, do not type it into Zillow in all caps. I said it.
No! Ew, that's so gross.
A lot of people do that. They think you're getting more attention by putting it in all caps. No. My eyes shut.
It's
I
offensive.
do not watch those. I do not read those listing descriptions when they're all in caps.
Yes.
And note to any other realtors watching this, stop doing that, please, in the MLS.
Yes, please.
You're not helping anyone.
And one last thing to say about that. With putting it out there online and making sure your pictures are beautiful and making sure your verbiage is correct, with so many people moving around the country right now and around the world, you never know who that potential buyer may be. So the more detail you can give on your listing, the more likely they might actually call you. Right. I'm a real estate agent, and I can be pretty creative, and I can see things before I actually see it in real life because I have a lot of experience doing it. But even myself, if I come across a listing that doesn't have a lot of photos, or they're bad, or the description is ridiculous, sometimes I won't even share it with my client because it's embarrassing to me. Because they'll be calling me saying, I don't even know what this is.
Why are you wasting my time? Right.
Yes, so don't ever think you're being too detailed. I don't think you ever could be.
Right. Now, once you have that, your bio for your house, so to speak, your description, you're going to want to take pieces of that along with some of your beautiful photos and create print material also. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking everything is online and everyone searches for houses online, and why do you need print material?
It still works. There are actually places you could post your home around town. And guess what? If you hire a real estate agent, they're probably going to have an open house for you. So you're going to need print material for your open house.
Right. Even if you're not hiring a real estate agent, you're hosting your own home open house. You need that material to hand out.
Exactly.
Right? And because you want people to take it with them.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the collateral that they're going to take with them to remember your house. Because what happens when you're not a for sale by owner, when you have an agent who's bringing people and showing your property for you, we're providing printed data sheets. So we're offering to you the option to think about printing up some data sheets and beautiful flyers for people to have after they've left your home, to think about it so that they can then call you up and make an offer.
People love handouts, trust me, especially if they like your home. They want handouts. They want to take it with them.
So speaking of that, when you do have your open house, are you sure that you're ready for that? Because your marketing is going to lead to people coming to see the house. We'll talk about showings in a little bit, but think about your open house. It's like an event.
Yep, it is. It's like a big party.
Yeah, so, and parties usually have to plan in advance. So this is another piece of your marketing plan, is when are you having your open houses, what day of the week, what time frame, how long are you keeping the open house open for, what are you serving at your open house? It's kind of like being a party planner.
Yeah, pretty much, with all kinds of strangers coming through your door.
Right, and the house is the guest of honor.
Which leads us to our next warning, maybe, or heads up. So a lot of times real estate agents don't hold open houses alone. We have someone close by, or someone on speed dial, or someone actually with us. Shelly and I, we don't do open houses alone because you need a buddy.
You need a buddy.
You need someone to be able to talk to your guests, and you need someone to be keeping an eye out for what your guests are doing, because believe it or not, there are people that could come through your home looking to take some of your home with them.
Or provide quick, easy access into your home. So one of the things we always do when we are hosting an open house is we're sure at the end of that open house to make sure all forms of entry, all doors, sliders are locked. At the end. And you also, during the open house, you only want to keep one point of entry open so that you can keep track of who's coming and going.
Yeah. And make sure your valuables are put away. We know those crystal vases and your beautiful earrings, they're beautiful, but other people will think they're beautiful too, and they will be looking for those things. So keep your valuables and prescription medications
I was just going to say that.
Locked away.
I was just going to say that. Really important. So anything else about marketing? We did talk about print, but let's take a moment or two here to discuss social media marketing. You're watching us on YouTube, you're watching a video, and hopefully you subscribe to our channel and look for us on all of our social media outlets. And that's what we do for our listings as well. We almost create social media outlets just for the listings when it's a big listing and it's a high volume luxury property. And you're going to need to do that for your for sale by owner as well.
Yeah.
So if you're not already social media savvy as far as ads, boosting ads, and creating shorts and reels and videos, you're going to quickly need to watch some tutorials on that.
Exactly.
And make sure that you have a plan for your social media marketing for your sale.
That's right. And sometimes every time with our photographer, we will even do a live video with him or her going through the property in detail with what it has to offer. And depending on the price of the home, could be a complete lifestyle video.
Showing the neighborhood, the area. Drone footage, your location compared to the highways for easy access, or the beaches for recreation. And that's huge. Today, that's really, especially in our market down here in South Florida, that is really how homes get sold quickly. And for top dollar.
That's right. And I don't know if we mentioned this, Shelly, but most home buyers, what was the statistic? Like 80% of home buyers are online before they even decide to start looking. So a lot of times my clients will come to me and they might know things about a property that I don't even know yet, because they have been, I'm telling you, they will be stalking properties that they like.
Right. I mean, as busy realtors, we have multiple clients and multiple searches going on at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
But as the buyer or seller, your focus, as the seller, your focus is your one house. But
Right.
if you're selling, it means you're probably buying something on the other end also, and already have an idea of 2 or 3 neighborhoods and maybe 3 or 4 homes that you'd like to get into. Imagine that times like 20 at any given moment. That's what goes through our minds every day.
Yes.
So it's a good thing we have a team
Yes.
doing some of the background work for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a whole team who does all of that stuff, so keep that in mind. So one other important step to take when selling your home is put a sign in the yard. I mean, the street that I live on has so much traffic back and forth. If I didn't put a for sale sign out front, I mean, I would be losing so many opportunities.
So true,
Yes.
Rebecca. And you know, the other thing is, speaking about that, is you don't want it to be a secret. So
No.
when you're marketing your home and coming up with your marketing plan, your signage is important, and also your conversations with everyone you know. I mean, right? You've got to let everyone you know that you are selling your home.
That's right. And with the conversation, Shelley, this goes back to if people don't like you, this sounds so mean, but it's true. If people don't like you, they will not buy your home because I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
So
Keep your what is the saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Or mind your P's and Q's.
Right, yeah. Just don't have any enemies.
Don't have enemies.
Especially if you're going to be selling your house soon.
Yeah, don't get offended when people say they don't like something. Like on my listings, if someone says they don't like something, it's not even my home, but I get completely offended. Like, how could you hate that? That's the
Right.
But you can't get that way. You have to be
Back to the emotion.
you have to stay neutral.
And that's really hard for people who are selling their house on their own. Because look, we're humans and we do have emotions. So
That's right.
I know that's one of the struggles you face.
Absolutely.
We're rooting for
Yeah.
you.
So
I have to go back to talking with people and letting them know that you're selling your house, because once you put your listing on your Zillow or your Facebook group and you've set up your open house and you've held your open house, certainly you're obviously advertising your open house.
yeah.
And then once you've done that, let's say it doesn't sell right away and you kind of have to reevaluate your marketing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that happens. And in marketing, no matter what the widget is, if it's a house, if it's a car, whatever you're trying to sell, sometimes you need a tier 1 plan, a tier 2, and a tier 3 plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so in our arsenal, when we have a listing, we're working with a wide network of other agents who are bringing buyers. So what you're going to need to do as a FSBO, which is for sale by owner, if we haven't mentioned that yet, as a for sale by owner property, you're going to have that tier 2 and tier 3. Now, sometimes it means part of your marketing as well, you lower your price to hopefully attract more people. But another thing you're going to need to do is reach out to buyers. So you've got to be thinking about, where are you getting your buyers from? Now, when you work with an agent, what we do in our business is we have our vast network of other agents that we connect with,
Right.
who might be working with a buyer. We might be working with a buyer. And we work with corporate companies who are handling relos from people all over, working for some of the various companies here in South Florida.
Right.
And we have global clients who are looking to make investments. That's just, I could keep going on and on and on, but I don't want to drag this video on too long, and I want to make sure you watch till the end so you find out some of the details about our buyer's guide. But I just want to point out to you, the for sale by owner, is that if your first marketing plan doesn't work, you're going to need to hit the second and third tier and find your buyer. You can't just magically wave a magic wand over your house and say, okay, I've taken pictures, I've listed it, and now poof.
It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. We wish it did, but it doesn't.
So get your marketing plan together, think about your strategy, and if you have any detailed questions, we are here to help. That's why
Yes.
we're doing this, so we can help you.
Yep. And before we move on, I have to say one last thing. So I have done showings with my buyer clients where the seller is in the home. And I'm just being honest with you. That makes a buyer so uncomfortable. It's so weird. But they don't want somebody watching them walk through their home.
Right.
It's just, even for me, it feels awkward.
It's sort of like, if you've never been in that situation, it's sort of like, because this might be your first for sale by owner, but think about when you walk into a store.
Yep.
A clothing store, right? And you're sort of browsing, you sort of need something, but you're not 100% committed. Like, you don't want the salesperson helping you. You just want to browse.
Yeah.
And they're all over you. They're like, what can I help you for? Oh, you like that shirt? Have you tried that? Oh, that would look really good on you. That shirt would look really good on you. And when that happens to me, I don't know about you, I put the shirt back on the rack and I generally leave that store.
Yeah.
I hate to laugh about it because it's really
the
an important
truth.
issue.
Yes.
It really is.
And I've actually had sellers ruin the deal because they were talking. They were saying too much. They were giving away their negotiating power because they were just telling us everything.
Yeah.
And we were thankful because we knew, but it killed the whole deal.
Yeah, you have to be very careful when you have your showings. So, first of all, we didn't really talk about scheduling your showings.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, we should probably roll back the tape, but short of
Yes.
doing that, let's just jump backwards
Uh-huh.
and talk about you've marketed and now you've got your showings. You've got people calling you because they're looking at your ad on Facebook or Craigslist, and now they're calling you.
Yep.
The first thing that goes through my mind, though, is your safety.
Absolutely.
Your safety.
Mm-hmm.
So when you list a home on an MLS and you have other agents bringing potential buyers to your home, those potential buyers have been vetted by the realtor. This is actually a very serious matter. It's part of our ethics, part of what we're bound as realtors to protect and serve our clients.
Right.
And so before I bring a buyer to some place, I've pre-qualified them as being qualified to buy a home.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
That's number one. And number two is I have usually obtained their home number, their home address, their phone number, their driver's license in many cases. I know who I'm bringing into your home. And I've scheduled that appointment with the homeowner via their listing agent. Now, of course, you are going to be a for sale by owner, so you're going to be scheduling appointments, and you might get some agents calling you, and those agents might be bringing their clients, but you might also just get Bob and Sue calling you, and you don't really know who Bob and Sue are. So it's something for you to think about is how are you handling non-represented showings? You may have noticed that the sun is setting while we've been speaking to you. So the lighting in here is changing, and that's just part of why we love living in South Florida, because we have such beautiful natural light most of the day. So we are hitting on sunset as we wrap up how you can best provide for your family by handling your sale as a for sale by owner instead of hiring realtors, if that's what you decide to do. We've mentioned showings, and after you've scheduled your showings, had the showings, hopefully it went really well, but you're going to want to follow up. After your people leave, after you've shown them your home and pointed out all the wonderful features about your property, then what? What's the next step? Well, hopefully you'll get an offer from them, but you might need to reach out and encourage that offer to come in and let people know what your timing is.
That's right. And something that's very important to us as real estate agents, if another realtor shows our listing, we want feedback. We want to know why their client is or isn't going to buy the home. Is it just not for them? Do they wish the roof could be newer? Like, what is it? We want to know so that we can set that home up to fulfill more of the needs.
Right. So feel free to ask people for feedback. But don't get into an argument. Don't, once they give you the feedback, again, that's really hard when it's your own home.
I know.
Is to take the feedback. But, you're doing this on your own, so you've got to be man enough to handle the feedback, which in some cases might feel like criticism.
Right. But it's okay. The more constructive criticism you receive, the better you'll be able to position yourself in the market.
And eventually get it sold.
Absolutely.
So what happens when you actually get an offer?
All right, everyone. So you've got your home staged, you've got photos, you've set up your presentation on all of your marketing, you've had open houses, you've had showings, and everyone and their brother has either seen that your home is for sale or been through it. And guess what? You receive an offer.
Woohoo.
What? Now what do you do? A lot of for sale by owners don't know, what kind of a contract should we use? Do we write it on a napkin? What do we do
What do
now?
I take for a deposit, right?
Oh,
what are the
yes.
details? What are the terms?
Exactly. So we would recommend maybe you consult an attorney on verbiage that should be in a contract. There are websites out there that you can go to and print out contracts. But trust me, the hours and money that is spent on a realtor's true contract is millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of hours of attorneys going through the contracts word by word, making sure they're updated like
Annually.
monthly,
Right. Yeah.
sometimes.
We get lots of new versions.
Yep.
The other thing to consider is we've been talking to you and really kind of focusing on single family homes, at least in my mindset. But now that we're talking about contracting, I'm realizing that many of you might be selling condos, which is a whole nother level when it comes to your contract. Because you're not just dealing with an HOA, you're also dealing with condominium association rules and regulations, which require additional addendum to be included in your contracts. Now, since you're doing this on your own as a for sale by owner, perhaps someone in your property management in your condo association might be able to tip you off on some of these details. But if not, this is not something you should do alone. Even though we have a for sale by owner guide, even though we're making this video and sharing all of our tips and tricks with you, you're going to want to read the guide in detail because you don't want to go under contract for a condo on your own. You definitely need to hire an attorney.
No, you're opening yourself up for a lawsuit that will cost you, oh man,
Thousands,
hundreds of thousands
tens,
of
and
millions
hundreds
of dollars.
Even if your property's not worth that much money, you'll end up spending that much money on a litigation.
Yep, that's right, because there's always someone out there that's looking for a cheap opportunity. So you have to be careful and make sure all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Now, there is someone else besides the attorneys who can help you do that. If it's not a realtor and you're not working with us or another board certified realtor, you would want to be in touch with a title company.
A title company. And we have a few that we like to work with, and we have a few that we don't like to work with. So even though they're a title company and they are monitored, they still can have their own issues. So again, if you stay till the end, we can give you a list of our trusted title companies. But you need to make sure they can specifically work with for sale by owners. Sometimes they will have contracts that you can use or borrow or copy. But if they know what they're doing, they will be very useful to you, and they will tell you what you need to do at each step.
Yeah. Big recommendation. Big.
Huge.
Assuming that you've hired one of our preferred title companies and you're all packaged that little piece up, let's talk for a minute about your buyers. Because you're the sellers, but let's talk about those buyers. Are they cash buyers? Are they buyers that are getting financing? Really important to understand who your buyer is, because you might not accept every contract that you get.
Right.
You might get a great contract, but when you look at the details behind it, it might give you pause.
Yeah.
And there are multiple reasons why sometimes you wouldn't accept an offer. And if a buyer is seeking financing and you are now halting the opportunity to market your property because you have a pending contract, and what happens if that buyer does not get their financing?
Yeah. And one thing, we've been around a little while, so we do know a lot of lenders, but when we receive an offer that the deal is going to be financed, we actually call the lender and ask details. What is this true? Is your approval letter true and accurate? Has anything changed since this approval letter was generated? How long is it really going to take you to get the appraisal done and get it clear to close? We sometimes ask a lot of questions, and sometimes we can just feel if something is fishy. So especially if it maybe comes from a lender that we haven't had success with. So something to keep in mind, and it's okay if you ask questions and really dig in to make sure the potential buyer is giving you true and accurate information.
Right, because what you're really waiting for is getting that contract is great, signing it, having it fully executed is great, but really your home is not sold until you get a clear to close on a finance deal. And sometimes that's not up until just a few days before your closing date.
Right. Yeah, if it's a finance deal. The
Right.
deal is not done until all the paperwork is signed.
So clear to close is really the whistle that you're looking for. And, we're hoping that you get there.
Absolutely.
And it's been great to be able to share just some of our info with you, because we believe that everyone has, the right and opportunity for home ownership, and we're such strong believers in the value that owning a home can provide financially and emotionally as well. And so if you feel empowered to go through this process yourself, we'll advocate as much as we can.
Absolutely.
And hopefully bring your buyers.
That would be the best. And that is something that we do if someone opts to sell their home on their own. We still want to know what it is because we have buyers and maybe your property is exactly what they're looking for. So if this video is helpful to you, let us know and let us know what your listing is. Maybe we can help you get it sold.
Definitely. And be at the closing table with you.
That would be the best.
Just before closing, you're going to need to, you're not off the hook yet.
Nope.
You can't just run to the bank with the check just yet.
Nope.
You have to have a pre-closing walkthrough.
That's right. This is so important. As a seller, you might not think it is, but for your buyer, it's really important. So they might want to do a pre-closing walkthrough of your home. So it's very important that all the items that were listed that we're going to convey with the home are in the home. And please make sure all of your things are out. There's nothing worse than having your clients moving into their new home and all of the former homeowners' things are still there.
Sometimes you won't close. If you don't have your home emptied out according to that contract, you won't close.
There's no closing. Oh no.
Close.
Buyers are very serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
They will blow the whole deal right at the last minute just because the seller really didn't follow through with what they should have done.
Yeah, so be prepared. You're going to have to take another day off of work.
Yes,
You're going to have to be available to let your buyers come through, usually the night before or the morning of your closing, and inspect.
So hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video about how to sell your
video
home.
ever.
Longest video
The sun
ever.
is set.
That's right. But we hope it is helpful to you. But please keep in mind, even as Shelly and I, we made a lot of notes about what we wanted to touch on. We have our guide, but there are still so many more things and steps and processes that you have to go through to sell your home on your own. So, please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions and if you need clarification on everything. And again, just know that there actually are more things that you're going to run into.
This is not a complete list. This has not been a complete review. So hopefully you've been taking notes, but just know that there's so many more steps and hours that you are going to be investing. Look, you've probably heard realtors say we wear multiple hats. And when you really look at all of the actions that we take, we negotiate after inspections, we were negotiating during the contracting piece. We didn't really touch on that. Once you get the offers and contracts and there might be some going back and forth. It's really hard to negotiate on your own behalf.
It is hard.
This isn't like buying a car. This is so much bigger, as you know. And so we have, really micro-analyzed some of the transactions. And there's something like over 1,000 different functions that go into the sale of a home.
Yeah.
Between every phone call, every email, every follow-up. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's because you're another party involved. And by removing the realtor and being a for sale by owner, you're thinking you're going to mitigate a lot of that. What we've heard from so many people who have tried to sell their home on their own is that they end up halfway through the process and they get caught. They get caught scared. They get caught in areas they don't know. They feel like they're losing money and they've left money on the table. The truth of the matter is, according to the National Association of Realtors, out of all the homes sold in our country, only 10% are sold for sale by owner.
Yeah, that's a really small
That's
number.
1 in every 10. So if there are 10 homes that are selling in your neighborhood, only one actually makes it to final sale as a for sale by owner. Doesn't mean others haven't tried.
Right.
No harm, no foul. If you want to take our advice, grab our guide, go through the process, and somewhere through it you're feeling like you can't handle it all because you just don't have the time or the experience to get it done and still get the top dollar for your property, please reach out to us.
No matter where you are. And we will help you because it's what we do. It's what we love. We eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. We love helping people. And I actually, as we're talking, one other thing that we didn't even talk about was you have to have a seller's disclosure, Shelly.
Oh my God.
And a lead-based paint disclosure. We didn't even touch on that.
Goes on
we
and
could
on.
talk for hours on that. So don't ever be afraid to reach out to us or another realtor in your area. We would love to help you maximize your investment and make your experience the best ever.
She's right. We love real estate and we love working with people. That's why we do this. There's so many things people could do in their lives, and real estate is something that is not just a career, it's a passion.
It is.
So listen, you are amazing people for watching through, and we appreciate that so much. And we want to share with you our for sale by owner guide. We can email this to you directly to your inbox.
That's right.
We want to send you a list of our preferred lenders so that you can vet the buyers who are going to be coming through. And even you might get people calling you or coming to your open house that don't have a lender, and they might be looking to you for some information about that. So we're going to send you our preferred lender list, the buyer's guide, and just because you've stayed around a little bit longer, we're also sharing with you
our list of preferred title companies and our list of preferred photographers.
That's right. All just to thank you for listening. Please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment on what tip you found to be most helpful, because we are also always open to getting feedback.
Absolutely. So with that, go be amazing. Go make some money in this wonderful real estate world. And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.